You had that little ass tent. Remember, I was like, I ain't gonna fit in there with you. Yeah. No, there's another one.
Yeah. That's right.
I want you to put your hands together.
There goes the neighborhood.
And welcome him to the stage. Big round of applause.
There goes the neighborhood.
Welcome back to the SmokeScreen podcast, episode 82. we were just beating ourselves up about this the other week. We've been gone for a bit again, and didn't realize it was 3 months.
It's 4.
4, yeah. The last one was you watched Return of the King. Well, we didn't record that yet.
Right.
You watched the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship, and then we're going to do a podcast after every movie. And
do you guys remember that?
I know. I'm seeing comments. I was checking comments yesterday because I hadn't checked them in a while. And people were like, okay, start to get worried. Where are you at? Okay, we're back. We're back again.
Just to be honest, you had we had, I think you had mentioned a couple times,
yes.
Hey, we're getting ready to go into my busy season at work, blah, blah, blah.
All that stuff for sure.
And then, the actual holidays came along and, my job also
Riddick surgeries.
got crazy. So yeah, I do apologize.
No, I did mention because I'm in the insurance business. A lot of people have talked about that. I've talked about that before. And then our AEP was October 15th through December 7th, which was insane. 7 days a week, 10 to 12-hour days at the minimum. So I knew I was fucked during that time frame.
Not a good time to be in the insurance business.
No, it's
not
not.
to be a CEO.
I mean, it
anyway.
is to make money. Yes. That's true. That happened. Yeah, we got an email about that too.
Oh,
yeah.
I
didn't. That's how I found out.
Know.
Somebody mentioned on the phone. I was like,
wow.
What? Not really. I hadn't heard about that. And then we got an email that day. Anyway,
Scary.
So busy time, and then a few of you guys know because I have streamed on Twitch a few times here and there when I can. But Riddick, basically broke his damn back.
Dude.
Out of the blue one night or two, slipped discs and surgery again, and he's still not walking. So a few people know about that on. I posted something on the tab.
Yep.
About that, right? And then I told a few people on Twitch. Anyway, that all happened because I had all of December off. You remember, I had voluntary time off after AEP ends. There's nothing to do until January, and I just took the whole damn month. And I was like, sweet, I'm going to get my camper ready. I'm going to do all this shit and get it done because I've been for 3 months sitting here on the phones. And then, boom, woke up one day and Riddick's laying there in severe pain and he just can't catch a break, man.
No, he can't. And
can't catch a break.
Guys, it's pitiful. I mean, Riddick is a huge part of this channel and this podcast, and he's family. I mean, I know everybody says that, but literally there for a while, he was my second roommate over there. Right. Yeah, so he's down there barking right now. I think I can still hear him. Hopefully I don't bleed through the mics, but he's just laying there. He can scoot around and stuff, and he will. We'll go down there and he'll be in the kitchen or something. Chris has him a wheelchair now.
Got him a wheelchair. Just now got it a couple of days ago. He's been in it twice because it's been nasty snow and rain and whatever. But he's not digging that right now. I thought he seemed to be, but I think he's out of shape. He's weak, getting stronger, but it's going to take some time. Anyway, so all that, and then just the typical new business stuff with you, and it's all kinds of shit, man. But anyway. We're back.
We are.
Go ahead.
I've got some big news.
Oh shit! You saved something for the podcast?
I
inadvertently saved something.
I have a new dog.
Yes, you do.
A little girl named Dixie, and I adopted her on Thursday. And as we record this, it's Sunday, so I've had her 4 days. And I went. It was last Saturday, so 8 days ago. On a whim, it was a rainy, cold Saturday. I'm home alone, and I was like, I want to go see what they have there. Me and Landon have been talking about it, and I go and tell them I'm interested in adopting a dog. don't know how to go about it or whatever.
Right,
and they
right.
started telling me, and I said, can I look at some? She took me in the room. There's all these dogs in there, bigger dogs, and you know me,
Yeah,
you know. And I said,
Lap
I'm looking
dog.
for a lap dog.
Yeah.
She was like, what? Those dogs were raising Cain.
Yeah.
And we walked outside.
They're all like, pick me, pick me.
I said, I'm looking for a smaller dog, like a lap dog. And she said, well, might be your lucky day. Those are hard to come by here. You know,
Right.
they get gone quick. And she took me to the front desk, and she said, he's looking for a lap dog. And this lady turned around, she in a chair like this, and she was on her lap.
Yeah.
She said, somebody brought her in, said she was wandering around in the rain.
Just got there.
Yeah. And they said, nobody's called all day long.
Right.
And
You got to wait 3 or 4 days.
had to wait. And I wasn't expecting to get her. She's such a sweetheart. She's a little Chihuahua. They're guessing a Chihuahua and a rat terrier mixed breed.
I was gonna say, have you looked on like Facebook Marketplace where people post missing dogs in the area?
Yep.
I wonder if that's
Yep.
Because you would hate to have her for like a couple of months, and all of a sudden,
It's all I keep talking about.
yeah, like you
It
just
would
said.
break my heart
Yeah.
if she was somebody's dog, but she had no collar, no chip. Nobody's reached out about her, and but she's loving. She does nothing. She's a perfect dog for me. She does nothing but chill and give love. That's it.
Right.
And anyway, I'll have to share some pictures with Chris and see if he'll post one up.
Oh yeah,
That'd
yeah,
be
we
cool.
can do that for sure.
I love her to death.
We
And-
so you don't have to like carry her out to pee, 110 pounds,
No,
with a
no,
strap or nothing.
no,
Okay.
not like I
Gotcha.
drove up today. Chris is out there. Bless his heart. He's got to hold Riddick in this big harness. And
yeah.
no, dude.
It's like we always talk about how he's like a 7-year-old kid. I mean, they always are, but now it's a 7-year-old kid that's disabled.
Yes.
So this has not been easy for sure. I mean, look, I'm still hopeful that he is slowly healing. His legs moving. He's got feeling. He can move his legs, but when he walks, only his right one is starting to move, where he's catching it and actually moving it. His left one's still dragging, and it's been the bad one anyway, the worst with his bad hips and all that stuff. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
And what are they telling you time wise? Like, how long could it possibly be?
I mean, an
injury
they'll
like
say
that?
anywhere. Like the small dogs heal fairly quick. Like 2 weeks they'll be walking again because they have 4-inch legs. He's got 32-inch leg or something because I had to measure for that wheelchair. That's just from the bottom, not his actual full leg, but just from his like chest. It was the floor. But no, I mean it could be up to a year. We're in week number 9, I think it
Bless
is,
his heart.
and we expected 5 to 6 where they really kind of walking slowly and wobbly again. But I don't know. He's old, man. He's 11. He'll be 12 in October, so he's not going to heal fast, and he had a lot of spinal degeneration. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm hopeful he'll at least be able to walk. I don't expect him to run and chase, cats again and whatever. But walk around and be a dog and sniff and pee and have some dignity.
Well, like we
I guess
talked about downstairs earlier, his whole life he's had to be stronger up front
Yes,
anyway.
he's very strong up front. Yes,
because his
he
hip.
shifted everything forward. Yeah,
The poor-
and that's what caused the problem.
Okay.
Bending his back
That
all
makes
those years.
sense.
Yeah. His spine has always been compressed more because he's shifted forward,
Okay.
and that's exactly what caused all these bulging discs, and 2 of them popped.
So I have faith that if, say, that right leg is the only one,
Yeah.
I feel like he's strong enough that he'll still get around.
He can stand. If
the
I
third
lift
leg.
him up, he can stand. He just can't balance because his left, but
Mm-hmm.
he can stand completely on his right. And he's always used that one. He's always had it centered, so
Mm.
it's always been that case. But he's still always been on a run and jump on the bed, jump in the car, and that all just stops.
Catch footballs.
Catch footballs.
I love that.
all that. I got the old videos of that. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. But we were debating. We got to, and I'll put the little timestamps because I know we always catch up. for
I've
a
thought
while.
about this before too.
Yeah, and people
That'd
was
be
like,
cool.
"When you gonna get to it?"
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the Gabby Petito story
Yeah.
because we both watched the documentary last week. I think it was. You texted me about it. I I'd remember the name, and we both watched it probably within a couple of days. But we also we're debating because we want to cover some YouTube drama.
Yeah.
So I'll mention this just because the Daniel, now this because it's kind of related to what we did here and my, being a writer and fantasy. Daniel Greene. And I know everybody's capitalizing on this stuff, so maybe we'll just mention it real quick, and maybe we'll get into it in another one if you want to do it, or overtime, whatever we do.
I think it's a decent topic.
I do too. I think it needs to be talked about. But yeah, Daniel Greene, big fantasy YouTuber, author now. He's been an author for a few years now too. But he was started as just like another review channel, reviewing books. And I watched a few of his videos back in the day, and then I sent him my book. I sent him a copy, and I'm gonna find that fucking video. I guess it's gone or something, but I mean, I swear, dude, that's the video. I don't know. I sent him that book, like I did a lot of people, and then I watched. I don't know, a couple months later, because that came out in October of 2021, and then like early 2022, I was like, maybe he's opened it because he used to do these openings.
Yeah.
On camera, he would open mail and stuff that he got. So everybody wanted to send, because he would occasionally review books from fans that wrote books, and not just like big time authors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what people want him to do. I mean, you don't ask him; you assume he might if he wants to. Anyway, I sent him that book, and then he did open it on a video, and I immediately disliked him.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say it. I don't know him, but I'm saying my impression. I don't like him. Because it was just odd the way he did it. And again, I know it's a video, and he was probably drunk because he said they do these half drunk, and he goes back and reads the letters sober, and that's probably true. But I'm just saying that was my impression, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't like the dude anyway from the get go. From when it's because he opened this, I saw him open the book, takes it out of the envelope, he holds it up, and he's like, "The Crimson Gods, thank you for the book that I don't know anything about," and just kind of like tosses it over, like it's like. Okay, thank you for the book I don't know anything about. Are you supposed to know about it when people send you new books?
You're not.
I'm not George R. Martin or his favorite, like Brandon Sanderson, which has now canceled him too.
He's got a whole pile of these he's opening.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about.
Right. So anyway, that was the thing. Then I left a comment. I said, I hope you enjoy if you ever get a chance to read The Crimson Gods, whatever. And he sees my name and SmokeScreen, probably went and looked at the channel or something at the time, say, okay, well, he's not some small, tiny YouTuber. We wasn't at 100K or nothing back then, but we were pretty close. We're getting there. And he followed me on Twitter, and I was like, okay, well, I guess he did. Maybe he did check it out. Never heard anything about it. Never spoke to the guy or nothing. Like I said, it's just my impression. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I just thought it was odd, how you would, if somebody sent me a book, we've got a book sent to us, and I certainly would never disrespect the author, no matter how good or bad I thought it was if I read it.
No way.
Because I know what it takes. He should know what it takes. He's authored 5 books now, I think. And again, I know it's just a video. It's probably no big deal. I'm probably overblowing it, but it's just that was my impression.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it lasted. But now, with the drama, Naomi King, who's this songwriter girl, who's absolutely insane apparently, put out a thing 3 years later from some time they met up in Vegas and had a little affair, and then it was, first of all, it was as they say, SA. We can't say the word
right
on here because they did some stuff, and she was pressured into it, and then she put out a redaction, almost backpedaling because she displayed the full context of all these text messages between him and stuff, and then he also did, and this whole drama, and now she's back again with the part 3 saying, I never accused him of that, but you did.
Yeah.
And he's been vindicated since then, because regardless of how I feel about the dude and how he's become more of a political channel and all that other shit we won't even get into, but it's still somebody that's getting falsely accused of bullshit, and I can't stand that stuff. So we were going to talk about that. We may end up still talking about that because there's a lot to it. It's a lot of drama. YouTube drama does get clicks, I will say, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, because look, we do YouTube. You do it for clicks.
And I love drama.
I do too.
I'll get caught up in some shit I have no idea about.
Me and like flat earth drama.
Yes.
Like recently I've told you about the trip down there to Antarctica where flat earthers went, and now two people are no longer flat earthers, and he's getting more flack than you can possibly fucking imagine. He's a paid shill, a government operative. He's seeing what we saw.
Right.
On that side of the coin now. So anyway, we may get into that at some point. I don't know. We'll see.
Changing sides is slippery slope.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Anyway, though, and again, I'll put timestamps and all this, but I'm gonna pull it. If I can find that video clip, I'm gonna put it in there.
I want you to.
Whenever we talk about that or whatever, because we tried to find it earlier. I'm telling you, it's just, I swear it's in that video, but it's not. Anyway,
I'd like to talk about it because I'd like to, see what people say. Get some opinions on some
just
things.
a third party perspective.
Yeah.
And, there'll be a lot of I'm sure comments or whatever. But look, we'll be fair. We'll try to be fair about everything we talk about. But anyway,
we have daughters.
Correct. Excuse me. Yeah, we have perspective. But anyway, Gabby Petito, huge story. I had remembered the name. You got
Speaking of us having daughters.
Yes, exactly. So this is something I followed quite a bit for probably a year or something. I get in these rabbit holes like you do, and I was kind of getting on that van life, and that's what this started. I was following one lady who did this for a while. I think I told you about her. I showed you a couple of videos. Anyway, so I just watched a few of these channels that vlog as they live in vans and they pimp out buses and I guess this girl Gabby wanted to do that. And so what's the name of the documentary? Was it just Gabby? Oh,
American Murder.
American Murder again.
Yep.
So they're doing the American Murder series now.
Yes.
What they're doing. So the Chris Watts, and they got American something else murder.
Yep.
So there's 3 of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a basic story of this little young girl who, her and her boyfriend, at love at first sight bullshit. I guess whatever. And then I want to be a vlogger. Let's go get a van. Let's get some, not pimp it out necessarily, but we're going to camp in this van and go across the country for a year, and we're going to vlog it, make money, and be YouTubers.
Yeah.
And
hey, dude, when you're young,
yeah,
I used to want to get in a van and drive across the country.
I get it. Absolutely. You had a van.
Yeah.
You had it. And did you have the VW or you wanted the VW?
I had a 61 Ford.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like the Mystery Machine.
Right.
But my dad, I think I've said this before, he told me, he's like, man, if you ever do drive across country, what you got to do is you got to start on the East Coast and drive out on the beach, put your tires in the sand, and then go all the way to the West Coast and put the front in the sand over there, and then combine the pictures together.
That's right. That's what my mom did.
Oh, really?
With the bikes. They
took
that's
the bikes
cool. Out to.
That's really cool.
Did they go? They went San Diego to Florida.
Okay.
So they flew out there with everything, and they did the tire in San Diego, and then did it in Florida. And they rode bikes. This was 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
Insane.
Bicycles.
Yeah. Correct. With saddlebags.
Yeah.
With their camping
Crazy
gear and shit. And sometimes they would camp, sometimes they'd stay in hotels, and anyway, the whole thing.
But yet, so I get it. And then imagine then, when we were young, if all this technology was there.
Yeah.
Where you could literally maybe potentially make a little bit of money by vlogging.
Oh, yeah.
I could see the appeal.
Some of the channels blow up and they do very well. And I know one, I don't even remember her name now. It's been so long, but I used to watch this one girl who did it, and she had and she ended up being on a reality show where they pimp out these buses for this stuff. But she was in a bus that was made out, made over to be a badass little camper.
Yep.
And anyway, she got huge doing this. Now, it didn't help that she was attractive. I mean, it didn't hurt. I mean, but it's just she was alone. It's that solo thing. I think that's part of the intrigue too. But she had her boyfriend, and look, that would be cool, man. And a lot of people do it, but then there's also a lot of people when you go down that rabbit hole behind the scenes are like, this is not what it looks like.
Right.
I'm sure it is horrible.
Do you remember the guy I worked with at Pizza Hut that came over and got us into crypto and all that?
Yes.
That's what they did. They bought a school bus. And
that's right. And they did it.
He's doing great on social media. He got invited to one of those TikTok things by TikTok. And went there and did some kind of promotion.
He came over
thing.
and told us about crypto, which we knew about from an old buddy. We'll get into all that, but he kind of the newer stuff with Coinbase and all that. And then was talking about how you can, here's how you blew up on Vine.
Yes.
How to do, and another, at that time, there was a new one that didn't last, but at the time, it was supposed to be the hot.
I wish I could remember, because,
I ended up deleting that app.
Yeah.
But we did it for a while. We had
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it was a TikTok wannabe.
Yeah.
Basically, but it was growing pretty good for a while. And I did a couple little things on there. Even I remember, like when I first started playing guitar, I did a little clip that almost like on TikTok where you do.
That's right.
Yeah, I did. You do the, what do you call it? The stitch.
Yeah.
And I did that little whatever it was. Anyway, so they end up, like you said, I guess he's gone bigger, because for a while I didn't see him. But yeah, that's cool. Anyway, Gabby Petito.
Yep. So
I said, what's happening with Gabby here?
Here's the thing. Young couples getting together, and they have all these, everything's hyper passionate, whether it's good or bad,
Yes.
and it seems to me like the issue with them was she'd started a job at a restaurant and made new friends.
Taco Bell.
And it was Taco Bell. That's right.
Taco
and
Bell.
he, I guess, was insecure because she started hanging out with her friends more.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying maybe he shouldn't have been or should have been or whatever,
Right.
because you get weird vibes from one of these friends.
You do. We'll say this. We're just going by the documentary.
That's it.
That's all.
Straight
we can
up documentary.
Because again, we've been fooled before, or at least partially, if you whatever with documentaries. We know they edit them.
Yes.
And we know they don't include all the information. So again, this is just going by that. Exactly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I just got a weird. It's a slight vibe that this female friend who's in the documentary from beginning to end.
Yes.
So
that
it
wasn't just
seemed
me.
like she liked her more than a friend or something.
I think so.
Maybe there was something there.
I think so.
But regardless,
Yeah.
Brian Landry, her boyfriend, he would bitch about it, and I do remember being a young insecure dude who, I remember a girl I dated at Pizza Hut went down to the damn beach,
Right.
and spent a week down there, and it ain't like she had a cell phone, right? So I'm blowing up the damn phone in the room.
That's right.
Her friends answering,
Yeah.
no, she's not here, and damn well she is.
Yes.
She's wanting to be young and do what young people do, and
Right.
and I was just young and immature and insecure and
Right.
all the things that go along with it. And I also had a receding hairline like this guy. He had a receding hairline to be a young guy.
This dude looked like they showed these high. I guess it was those two kind of high school friend groups or something.
Yeah.
Kind of merged, and she saw him, and she said it was love at first sight, and vice versa for him. And he definitely looked older than the 18 or 17-year-old that they were in high school. He looked like he was 30.
Yeah.
I mean, easy. He was already got the balding,
Dude.
receding hairline, dark hair. The beard and mustache probably made it a little, I'm not saying worse, but you know what I mean, older. So yeah, he definitely looked a little bit older.
And she's got one of those Usain Bolt names, how he's got a weird name to be so fast.
Yeah.
She's tiny, and her last name's like Petite.
Petite. Yeah, Petite. Yeah. Exactly.
But, so my theory is he agreed to do this van life thing to get her away from these friends that he's jealous of.
Yeah,
It's just my guess.
Yeah, and again, I was saying to you when we first started talking about this, again, we don't have the story. We only get it from the girl, the friend, I think, who wanted to be the girlfriend. I agree. But was she going over there because it was already getting weird? Or was she going over there and he had a legit gripe about his girlfriend always hanging out, never being with him? I don't know.
Who knows?
We don't know.
You don't know.
It doesn't justify anything that happened,
Right.
by the way. I'm just saying.
And that's
we try to get to like what's building up to this type of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that's the thing, when you're young and or hell, don't have to be young. When you are feeling insecure and somebody calls you insecure,
Yep.
they may as well stab you in the heart. I mean, you'd be like, I'm not insecure. You'd be ready to bludgeon somebody and leave them in the desert and choke them. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Anyway.
It's just a joke.
It's just a joke. You guys know us by now.
Jesus.
But yeah, no, the joke. The thing is, that's why I bring that up, is I do remember what it's like to be insecure at times and blow stuff out of proportion. Because, some girls get tired of it and break up with you. And you can clearly put your finger on where it started going bad. And that was when you started showing your ass. When you get really comfortable after you've done the deed and now all of a sudden you're not opening doors for them anymore or whatever. I'm just saying that. Whatever. The newness wears off. Now you're going, is she going to get bored with me? What else do I have to offer? Oh, his car's a lot cooler than mine.
Oh, yeah.
He makes a lot more money at his job than I do. Damn, he's got a lot better tan.
It's
he's
that
more fit than me.
Imposter syndrome for boyfriends or whatever. Yeah,
and even though they say they love you and you've got them, you get insecure at times.
It's true, and you still do when you're older.
That's right. It happens. To some special. Yeah. Well, that's a whole other podcast. But yeah, you do. Whether it's somebody has a better career, a better house, better whatever. It can happen. And I feel like that's what happened with him, because it's almost like she's giving you this awesome chance to start over almost.
Right.
If you've been dealing with insecurities and like we're talking about, and she says, well, let's go out, and now you don't have to have a job anymore. Your job is to help her.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to provide a lot of money. She's already planning on eating crackers and stuff, evidently.
That right. Yeah. I mean, you're going to be the co-star. That's your job.
So you get a free chance to start over.
Yep.
So that's where I lean towards.
The difference is, though, I guess we were normal, semi-normal anyway, and not sociopaths.
That's the big difference. That's right.
So anyway, I had said they had planned this trip for a year. I swear somebody said that. You said they had planned it for 4 months. Whatever.
No, I'm sorry. I might have misunderstood you.
Yeah.
When you said they planned it for a year.
Yeah.
Did you mean they planned for the trip to last a year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I understood you then.
Yeah.
They had intended for it to be a 4-month trip.
Okay. So either way. Yeah, so planned on going out. And I don't even remember where they leave from. They were just going to travel the country. I don't know if they had a particular route or anything in mind.
I'm assuming.
Because they went west.
Yeah, they left from his place in Florida.
Yes, that's right, Florida.
Yeah, she's from where, New York or New Jersey or?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was up north somewhere. I want to say New York.
Okay.
State, yeah.
And he's in Florida. And because I feel like, the van had Florida plates on it. That's what makes me think.
Yes, he drove. Yes.
They left from Florida.
Yeah, because she moved to Florida first.
Okay.
Remember, so she was at home. They were up there. And then they decided to move to Florida where his parents were from. And she, all of a sudden, told her mom, I'm moving to Florida after it got serious.
Okay.
And she's like, well, that's a little fast, ain't it?
But,
right. She was over 18 and all that stuff. So she moved to Florida. Then they decided to get the van. There we go. They got it right. I think so.
And then they head west. And I guess the plan is National Forests and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if there was a particular route, but they went to National Forest, and just all the gorgeous places you would mention, Yosemite and Yellowstone, and just camping out and seeing America.
That would be so awesome.
It would be badass. It'll be awesome. I mean, that's a hard life though. Anybody that's even spent time in the woods camping in a regular old camper or just a tent knows. I'm gonna go for a week in the woods. After about 3 days, you're like, I want to just I want a cool bed, some air conditioning. So there's a lot of those videos on YouTube where it'll be like, van life's not what it looks like and those type of things. And I'm sure I completely believe that. You see all the great stuff on the vlog. You don't see I got to take a shit in the woods or where do I take a shower tonight or whatever, depending on your setup, obviously.
You had that little ass tent. Remember, I was like, I ain't gonna fit in there with you. No, there's another one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was just telling. It's funny. We were driving through that area. I was telling you about looking for houses and stuff. And I told my girlfriend the story of our tornado trip.
Dude,
we were driving right through there.
Holy
shit! We came out because we know how we drove the roads after that. Holy,
we went to the movies.
Went to the movies.
Trees and telephone poles and everything are just blown over.
Yeah, like
and
toothpicks, and we had a
broken.
horrible storm, and we got in the car and shit. It was in a tent.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I'd never seen and there had been a tornado right through there where we were driving.
Right through there.
Yeah. Anyway, another side story. So they take off, and the idea is, okay, we're going to make money on YouTube and vlog, and we're going to just capture. She got cameras and all this stuff. And what I told you was they had known each other for a while, obviously. They were in love, and she had moved there, and they planned all this together. And I get talking to cameras. I know how that is when you first start talking to cameras.
Yeah.
If that camera, you're looking at it, you feel awkward or whatever, but they looked like that's B-roll. It's not going to be in the footage. You can say like, oh, okay, like I could get up right now and say, hold on, James, go over here and do something, come back and cut that out.
Yeah.
So I get that you're a little bit awkward, but they were overly awkward on the camera footage they showed, because they got this footage from her camera and her phone and everything, and the laptop, I guess it was.
Yeah. I think you're just old pro now.
It could be.
I think so.
It may very well be.
I felt they were awkward. Him especially.
Yes.
I mean, she was awfully giggly, but I think she got it more than he did.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and that girl did say that he hated it, hated the idea. But another time, there was a couple of scenes where he was like starting the video.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it was just very awkward from what we saw. Again, that we just saw little snippets of stuff.
And then, you know, it looked like, I was thinking about our situation. I was like, damn, she's got the Chris roll in this.
Yeah.
She's got to do all the editing.
The Chris roll.
All the freaking,
Yeah.
you know, angles and all this and shit. And then when she broke out the damn drone, you would think he would go, okay, this is where I'll shine. No, hell no, she's running the drone too.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be doing anything.
No, and I think that he that's part of the psychological abuse in relationships. I feel like he held that back. Like she wanted him to just act enthused.
Exactly, at least be enthused.
Yeah, and he refused.
And he was just kind of like,
yes.
You know, smile. It was a fake smile.
Over here doing yoga.
They were doing yoga, but
he looked miserable.
Yeah, but you could tell she got a little more comfortable. I will say that for sure. But you know, because you see a couple of the outtakes, and that's the way it always is filming videos. But anyway, so what it boils down to is they end up. The first incident was right.
Oh yeah,
they're traveling at some point. Now there's been a little bit of communication with her and the girl friend, and I believe like she's questioning things at some point, right? She's like thinking about, you know, I don't know if this is gonna work out and whatever, and because you could just tell the girl just never liked this dude,
right?
I mean, clearly, you know, whether that's because of what she told her, what was happening, we don't know the full story.
That's right.
Or because she wasn't her girlfriend, I don't know, but a little bit of both probably. Anyway, so. Some stuff started to bubble up and some little arguments, and she told, and I don't know if they were over, you know, she didn't tell her mom it was a big deal, those types, because she was keeping in touch with her mom and family. They get to us, I don't even remember the location. It's out west because it's mountainous. Arizona? Was there? New Mexico. Where they got pulled over.
That was New Mexico,
So there was a 911 call. And somebody called and said, I just passed a white van where a dude was out there slapping the girl.
Yes.
Slapping the girl, and he like the operator was like, "What? I'm sorry, what?" Yeah, this guy was slapping the girl, and then they got in the van and left, and then they ended up finding him, pulling him over.
Yep, they said Florida plates.
Florida plates.
Yep.
And anyway, they named the model, like he knew the model. Of the van.
that was cool.
How do you know? Like, maybe he's a camper. I don't know. Maybe he's a van life person. Pulled him over, and they get her out to kind of separate him. She's visibly upset. He seems calm, I guess. But she's saying, I just have bad OCD and he makes me so mad and whatever. So she was basically saying that she was the aggressor.
Yeah.
And they put her in the back of the car to cool off. They didn't arrest her or anything, just in the cool off in the back of the police car. And they talked to him. And he's like, I'm sorry, officer, whatever. But I was just trying to, I kind of pushed her away to keep her. She was swinging at me with her phone. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, okay, and it kind of lined up. The cops even said them separated. he had marks on him in his face, his arm, and I think she mentioned
She had some marks.
She had a little mark.
He noticed. The cop noticed.
Something on her arm.
Yep.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he had a clear bloody scratch here and whatever. So it's like, okay, did they get? Was that defensive? You don't really know.
You don't.
But clearly, the 911 caller said the girl he was slapping.
Yeah,
the girl.
he hit her. Yeah.
But anyway, from that altercation,
I'm sorry,
No,
but
go
that's
ahead.
what kept echoing in my mind.
Yeah.
When the cops really weren't questioning her thoroughly, they never said, they said,
the 911 call
yeah,
said you were
the
hitting
911
her.
yes, they did not
Well,
push
actually,
that.
no. The cop did say that to him, actually, didn't he? He said something like, we got a call that there was a man in this van slapping a girl, right?
I'm talking about with her.
Oh, yeah. No, that was not clear.
To say, look, I hear you, sticking up for him or whatever, but the call said they saw you get hit.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
See if she would open up.
And I know I did see a lot of comments on some of these videos or whatever about this, because this was I found like a couple. There was a couple of channels. This covered it, and that was one thing they were talking about. The cops were. I don't think they did anything wrong per se. I think they were just a little. I don't know, naive, or I don't know. It felt like the comments were like attacking them for not doing more.
Yeah,
but I don't think there's much more they can do.
No, I think with that. Ultimately, and I don't want to skip to the end, but it's like in the laws they passed, they're a list of questions they've got to ask.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if we're trying to look at it, and be as open-minded as possible. But yeah, if that was my kid, and after I found out all this, then all of a sudden this body cam footage surfaces. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to critique the shit out of the cops.
Sure. But the other part of it is, she talked to her mom about this, but didn't make it out to be a big deal.
She did exactly what she did to the cops.
Yes,
yep.
Exactly.
And that's what abused women do sometimes.
Right.
And that's the bad thing about it. I grew up that way. Mm-hmm. I saw my mom lie to cops to keep my stepdad from going to jail.
Yep.
And I'd be like, wanting to say something, on the edge of my seat, wanting to say something, but I knew I'd get in trouble. I don't know.
It's very odd.
It is.
It's very odd.
And we'll see the same dynamic with his parents.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, okay, this is the worst part of it. Not that, besides the girl dying, obviously, but it's his parents when we get to that. But anyway, with that altercation,
yes,
ultimately, okay, y'all separate for the night. There's nothing we can really do. They're adults; they can choose to what they want. But we're going to put him in a hotel, and you can have the van, and you go. And we'll get. What did they tell her where to go? He suggested a place to go.
Yeah,
relax,
he did. Mm-hmm.
Where you get a hot shower, some place to stay, and then they took him to a hotel for battered people.
And I gotta say, I like this. Okay, because because as well as I do, most of the time it's out of the cops' hands. They have to arrest somebody.
Right.
And I thought they did the right thing. I know hindsight's 20/20.
Of course.
The only thing is, I wish they would have flipped it. I wish they'd have made him get the van and her go to the hotel.
And that's like what Mom said later. Like, she went, why is she not going to the hotel?
Yes.
Yeah, right. But again, they're going off the information they have.
That's right.
Guess.
And it was her van.
Her van, correct, and her name only.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do that. But of course, as I yelled at the TV and called it, the flashed on the screen, she picked him up later that night.
I knew it was going to happen too.
I knew immediately.
Yep.
So yeah, she picked him up and boom, they were gone. They took off. And then go ahead. I don't remember. Let's see what kicked off the next event.
All right. At some point though, even though she didn't want him to get in trouble with the police and everything,
right?
It was she was wearing thin, and she contacted her ex-boyfriend.
There you go. That's what I was missing. Exactly. Yep.
And says to him, first off, I think she needed that familiar voice.
Yes.
It wasn't her parents who were going to say, I told you so, blah, 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 and all that.
Yep.
So she talked to him, and she said she had a plan. and
about leaving him.
Yep.
Yes.
And he, you could tell he did care about her. He kept saying it was my first love. Yep. So I put myself in his shoes.
Right. And I was like, as a matter of fact, I'm not sure they clarified that, but the scene where they were in a restaurant and she said she's going to the bathroom, she don't feel good because of the food. I think she called
was in
him
the bathroom
then, or tried to.
I think you're right.
I think she was trying to call him then.
That's right.
Because I've always said stuff like this, and don't beat me up in the comments. I just, if she's at that point wanting to leave, there's too many opportunities to leave in public. To me, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't think she thought he was going to kill her.
Well, of course. Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it ain't like she was kidnapped.
Well, you're right.
But, and she seems like a decent chick. So I don't think she want to leave him high and dry out there.
Well, right.
So she's trying to figure out how the fuck can I don't want to be with this guy.
But eventually, if that text message was still hers, when the phone later on would talk about, I was questioning whether that was him or not already with the phone, but they said it was her according to their computer records.
It too.
Because she said something later on about, I just told him I need to be a solo vlogger or something to be better or whatever. And it's like, you would tell him that out in the middle of nowhere on the road, but again, you're not thinking he's insane,
right?
I guess. I mean,
I actually think that text was him.
I do too. That's what I said.
I thought that you were saying that last one, that the last call that the ex-boyfriend got. Yeah. I was wondering if once he got her phone and was going through it, he might have tried to call that number to see who it was or whatever. I don't know.
Or he had done that beforehand. Or he had done it beforehand.
Very possible.
Was calling the ex, because I think that's certainly a possibility too.
It is.
Because I mean, I understand what she, I get what okay, this is somebody I've known for a long time. He was a boyfriend, but I trust him. He never treated me like this type of thing. Anyway, had this plan to get out, and apparently at some point, her mom talked to her mom about it, and like, I just told him, now, was that him or was that her? That's what I'm thinking. At some point, she was like, I told him just to go camping by himself, and I'm going to stay. I got the van to myself.
I definitely think that's him.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I feel like they came back and said at the end when they did the forensic stuff on the computers, that at that point, she still had her phone. But I don't know. I think that was him.
I do too.
Because it don't make any sense.
And I think you're right about them saying it was her.
Yeah.
I do. But I do think that's him.
I do too.
It don't sound, it's just weird. That is just too weird. And knowing him like I know him,
yeah, right.
He ain't gonna handle that like that. What do you mean you're gonna go solo?
Exactly. That's what. Yeah.
He's not gonna go. Oh, okay, I'll go home.
But that's what I mean. It depends on what's happened. If it's already been physical, it was very hard for me to believe that she would tell him that by themselves.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, if it's already been physical.
Yep.
It's at one or more points. Yeah, it's weird. At some point, they go. What was the final place they went camping? I can't remember the name of the park. It was a park. A campground.
It was Bridger Teton National Forest.
Yeah. Okay.
In Wyoming.
Okay, Wyoming. Gotcha. Yep. So, at some point, I don't remember how did they remember. I don't remember how they figured out she was missing. I think because at some point this didn't last, 2 months total? 2 months. They made it 2 months to this planned 4 month trip or whatever.
Almost 2 months.
Yeah.
And I think it was just, wasn't it that nobody heard from her in 4 days or something?
Yeah, she wasn't responding.
Oh, it was
responding too.
It was the text to the mom that said, "Tell Steve or whatever, help Steve, I'm driving." And Steve was her grandpa.
Oh, yes. Instead of saying grandpa.
It might not have been Steve. I'm just using a name.
Yes. So clearly that was not her.
That was clearly not her. And I think that made somebody go, And then she started reaching out to her and couldn't get her.
Couldn't get her. There you go. So it becomes a missing person thing. And just like every place that you ever see any kind of missing person, how it starts out with all these true crime things, she's an adult. Okay? She may choose to be missing. She may be somewhere, whatever. It's not necessarily a crime, but everybody knows their loved ones better than cops.
You just took the words out of my mouth.
That's, I mean, you know.
You know your family
That's
and
right.
their habits and the way they communicate with you.
Right. So ultimately, what is it comes back to she goes missing. They're calling. She's not responding. Now they're starting to get worried. Now they're calling. Okay, what do we do? All right, who do we call? Because she's missing in Wyoming. Okay, well, we can't really help you here. She's not living here. She's just traveling through. You need to call her home jurisdiction. They call Florida, and Florida's like, okay, well, what do you want us to do exactly?
So wild,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, what do you do in that situation? So I'm trying to think. Ultimately, what was okay. At some point, she had been missing for a while, and then he told somebody that he left her there at a hotel or something, and flew back home. They call in, the Florida cops call in and say, all right, go over there and find out what's going on. They send an officer over there. The van is there.
Yes.
In his driveway, at the parents' house, by the way. These are the parents now.
Mm-hmm.
His parents. They talk to them, and they come out, and the father's like, and the mom's standing right there, too. Ooh, these people pissed me off. And they're like, have you seen Gabby, whatever? I see the van's here. However they said it, whatever. And he's like, oh, no, he's here. I'm like, he's like, he's here? But okay. But that's her van. So they ended up like, kind of like the first time was like, yeah, he's here, but we're not talking. Talk to my lawyer. Like, what? And cops like, wait a minute, what? You like, we're just finding out, is Gabby in there? No, she's not here.
Yes.
You can call my lawyer. What?
That is the weirdest thing.
It's like he immediately just went home and said, yeah, and we told him exactly what happened and lawyered up. And it gets back to their family. Like, he lawyered up, and he's there with the van, and she's not. They know something horrible's wrong. It's not just like, they know, it. So another cop goes back and says, like, what do you want me to do? I'll try, essentially, and goes out there and says, hey, man, I know we've already bothered you or whatever, but look, can you tell us, her parents are worried. Does he know where she's at? At least set their mind at ease. Your parents, don't you understand?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you can talk to my lawyer. He's like, but this is her van in her name only, right? Well, it's not supposed to be here. And so the cops started getting a little bit agitated with this dude.
I was cheering for him then.
Yeah, well, I was exactly. And it's like, I was sitting there screaming, like, is there not something? Because that's weird. Like, no, it's not illegal to go hire a lawyer, but it's very odd that you come in, hey, we're looking for her girlfriend. The van's here. She's missing. Her parents got a report out on her. You're just saying, talk to my lawyer, don't you think? And he said that to the dude. Don't you think it's a little odd? And that's what started, like, okay, there's something wrong here. And then the manhunt starts in Wyoming. And the FBI gets involved. They call in it, and now it's like a full-on, okay, where's the last place they were type of thing. They go out. They do these searches everywhere. Can't find anything. Come to find out, another van life kind of vlogger person had been in that area, and it happened to drive by and caught their van on their little footage.
That's right.
Just in that random location. Didn't know the people, but they were there too, vlogging.
One cool thing that I want to say about that, the manhunt and everything, was Gabby came from a broken home.
Yeah.
Like, her parents were divorced and remarried.
Yeah, both of them, right.
And I felt like there was a really cool dynamic there.
I did too. I was going to say the same thing.
The stepdad goes out there to Wyoming.
Yes.
And
they
heading up
both the dad and stepmom were like our daughter, all of them, and they all seemed to like each other, like they were adults.
Yeah, her biological dad actually said, she, anytime she was in trouble, she was going to call me or him.
Yeah, he mentioned him by name. I thought that was cool. Yeah, I like to see like adults being adults.
I do too.
Like
man.
Shit happens. We're both moved on now, but we're still parents.
And then the dynamic.
Cool.
The opposite side of the adults is his parents.
Correct.
Who are still together, but just, thick as thieves.
Yeah. And then at some point, she sends this dude a letter. And I guess that was when he was still out and about. And the letter said, burn after reading.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Brian Landry's mom sent him a damn letter or left it in his room or however she wrote this letter to him.
I think it was sent to him out there because I think he probably called and said, or, you know, I don't know. If
no, he definitely called. They found out on the phone records.
They did.
He
yes,
called
right.
from
An
out
hour,
there.
like almost an hour conversation on the phone records. Yeah.
And so, yeah, a burn after reading note.
Literally said stuff like, if you need to hide a body, I'll be there with the shovel and the garbage bags. If you need this or that, whatever, I'll be there. Just this whole thing of like, oh, my baby boy, I'll do anything for you type shit. Doesn't matter what it is. I can never stop loving you. That's what it said.
That's right. And I believe it. I'm going to tell you, I always watch these and I try so hard to put myself in their shoes. And I have kids that I love, and I know if they fuck up, I'm going to really stand by them as a parent. But I can't. I couldn't live with myself if, like, I was an accomplice to protect my kid.
Right.
I would support them in any way, shape, or form and love them. And you see those old interviews of Jeffrey Dahmer's dad and how shook he was.
Oh, yeah.
Or the kids who, Columbine kids, like their parents are so shook. But, you know, you still love your kids. You cannot help it.
That's right.
But there's ways to do this, and they did the exact opposite.
That's right. She was like, they clearly knew about this. I mean, to some, at least thought. I don't know. It's unclear. But this search has been going on, and then he's been home. They went camping for a week. Like a week after he got home, the whole family goes camping together, and the sister, and then the reporters are now outside everywhere.
Yes,
like their house,
and people
all
in the
the
community
time.
and everybody.
It's growing. It's becoming a national thing. TikTok's happening at the time. It's all over the world.
He can't mow his yard.
Can't even mow his yard. But somehow, after a certain amount of time, this dude slips out.
That's frustrating.
I don't like the FBI were surveilling him. You had the media out front all day and night, and somehow he got out there with a Mustang. Now, how do you do that?
Good question.
I've just the house is a small like ranch, front yard with a driveway. How did he? I don't know.
And
I don't
like
know
you
if like
said,
the mom drove off and he was ducked down and maybe dropped it and she came back somewhere. I don't know. Maybe she helped him get out. I don't know. He was just gonna go clear his head and go out and camp it by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at this point, he had not been. He was he the suspect at this point? Yeah, he was the full-on suspect, right?
Yep. And then, okay, here I go. Just watched this Monday. We both binged it the day it came out.
Yeah.
So, was it they found her body, and then were going to the house and discovered he was gone?
I can't remember. I think so. I think that's the way it went down. The horse dudes, they had horseback teams going through. After they figured out exactly where they were, they verified the location with that video.
With the video, the other van lifers.
Yes, the van life people, the other vloggers. They found that. Oh, the woman picked him up hiking.
That's it.
That's what it was. That too. So this whole time what had happened was is after whatever he did, he goes and tries to create an alibi for himself, clearly. So he leaves this area and goes hiking on his own, hitchhikes, which is very odd, out here randomly in Wyoming. Another woman who's going, what was she, driving through the area, whatever, picks him up. She said he's very nice, normal, seemed normal, whatever. Takes him back to the campground where he said his girlfriend is waiting on him, where they have a camper.
Yes.
So he had, if you looked at a map, he had left this area, went all in a big giant circle, basically.
Yep.
So he had tried to create this alibi, and the reason is because when they found her body. She was laid down in a fetal position beside what was like, he tried to stage it almost like she was going to be freezing to death, and she was trying to make a fire but never got it lit. Because there was a little fire pit started, but it was never a fire lit. And he had like went off and took pictures that day. There's a couple of days, of skulls and shit, of course. And
texted her, "Oh, this is so beautiful."
Yes, he's texting her phone the whole time, of course. And that's what it was the whole time. He stopped and got gas, and there was records of that on her card. He wired himself $700 from her bank account from her phone.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. He's now wanted. He's not. Now he's escaped. They just let him slip out of there somehow. But so now they're looking for him. There's 2 missing people. Yeah, that's right. Before they found her body, they were looking for him because he was missing. That's what the irony was. His parents called and said, "We got to report him missing."
That's right.
And I told when we were watching this, and Camden walked by, and I said, I would have been like, "Call my lawyer."
Yeah.
If I was the cops.
Yes, that would have been awesome.
If I was the cops, I would at least said that, whether I got in trouble or not. Not that you can't actually help them, but I'm saying just call my lawyer, because that's the way all of a sudden they go and report their son missing. Okay, now you want some help?
Yeah.
Now you need some help.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Then they find her body, confirm it's her, all that stuff. And then he's now still missing, and they go out looking for him now. They find his car. It had been there for a while, the Mustang, because there's mow. They mowed around it. You can see the high grass under the car. You can see the mower had driven around the car. And he's missing, and they can't find him. He's out there. I don't know how many days they had looked. I don't remember the time. They spent a lot of manpower. The parents decide to finally go out there to help look. Dude finds him in within a mile of the car, almost immediately. Knew where he was.
And
dad, and mom.
And didn't immediately turn over the things they found there. They before they found his body, they found
his backpack, and some shoes, all the stuff was still there. Wherever this little spot was, they apparently knew about.
They knew.
And he had all these notes and notes written to them and other people about he was taking his own life and yada yada yada. He couldn't live without her, but he never admitted to anything. And
when they found him, because I guess it had rained and stuff, he was so decayed and
was decomposed
eaten by animals and stuff,
down to bones. Yep.
So
he took himself out with gunshot wounds, and then she had like you said, blunt force trauma and asphyxiation, I believe.
Yep. And strangulation.
But he had set it up she probably froze to death or something because they couldn't get the fire started or whatever that. She was going to be camping on her own and just got caught, whatever it was. And he was out doing this other thing, hiking around. And then all these text messages were bullshit because he was texting himself with her phone the whole time.
And in one of his letters that he wrote that they found, he said she fell down in some water and was getting hypothermia.
Yeah, and then he
basically put her out of her misery.
He said that. He said, "I thought I was doing the right thing of putting her out of her misery. She wasn't going to make it." And shit. It's like, what?
That is so wild.
So even in his little letters, his goodbye letters, he still never admitted to it. And then
never could.
Still took himself out, though. Can't live without her. That was his bullshit excuse. So he went out the pussy way. But, I mean, I went and looked, and her Instagram's still up. It says in memory of, like they do with Facebook and stuff. And then I looked at her YouTube channel, found that one video still there. When we watched the documentary, it had 3 million views. It's got, we just checked almost 7. I think it was 6 point something million views. So as that documentary,
the video now,
yeah,
9.4.
Oh, is it 9? Okay, well we just went up. So there you go. So yeah. The documentary is obviously bringing some attention back to it, but
I want to bring up what Kent said. I forgot. My buddy Kent just finished watching it today, and he brought up the fact that there's a scene where they show once he goes missing from his parents' house. Yeah, the mom is now texting his sister, her daughter. And she's saying to her that he's missing, and don't know how that he slipped away with all the eyes on him and everything. I guess they mistook me for him, or him for me. And the daughter, the very last thing that's said in this conversation, the daughter says to the mom, "It must have been the hat." And Kent said, how would the daughter know the mom was wearing a hat? Now,
Right.
I don't know if the mom wore a hat a lot or whatever, but that is odd. That
Right.
really is
and
odd.
she had said, because the press went to her place
Yeah.
earlier, and she was like, look, we want to know, just like, my mom's not talking to us either. Like, she's standing out there, and her husband, this damn dude, he's just like, what the hell am I got myself into? So she's coming off like the good guy, you know, I don't know anything. My mom won't talk to us either type of shit.
Yeah.
And no, they went on a camping trip together. You're telling me y'all never talked about? No, we didn't talk about anything. He never mentioned
That
it.
is
Like bullshit.
bull crap.
Bullshit, dude.
It's the
You just
main
came
topic
home-
of conversation.
You just came home with your girlfriend's van and she's missing. The
Yeah.
cops are showing up to the house.
Yes, all the-
You got a lawyer. Mom and dad. Why did you get a lawyer, mom and dad? I mean, for your, oh God, man. So, in my opinion, now it did say at the end they were never charged with anything. I can't believe, that's crazy.
I'm
to me.
shocked too.
Because people were yelling in the comments of everything I read, you know, was same thing was, what? How are you? They were like almost accomplices
They really were.
with that letter. I mean, you know, they clearly knew something happened to the girl and said, and got a lawyer. And then all of a sudden their son goes missing. Then they needed cops' help.
They allowed him to escape justice,
Exactly.
and that's terrible.
Yep. And then I added on too, you know, if they went out there and knew probably where he was, because that's his spot that maybe they had known about or whatever, or maybe they had already gotten a note they found. They didn't mention any of this stuff. We don't know what they're leaving out, but they let all those resources be spent, money, time, and effort to try to find this dude when they went straight to where basically within an hour, with
Yeah.
less than a mile from his car.
So wild to think about.
It's insane. So it's like, I don't feel bad for them. I just don't. But ultimately, what it boils down to is this: you got this girl who had this little dream, and it got squashed by, I don't know, insanity, you know, like jealousy. I mean,
And she said herself that she had OCD, that she could be annoying,
yeah,
and all these things. But like we've said in every one of these we do, leave.
yeah.
Just leave them. If whether she's annoying you, whether she's running around on
I
you,
don't get it.
she makes you feel insecure, whatever the case may be.
But it's kind of one of those things, like we said before. You know, if you're crazy to whatever degree, do you know you're crazy?
That
Because, like, I mean, it was like, it's
Great
like this
question.
dude was doing yoga. He was out on a mat doing yoga in the woods. Clearly, he loved the outdoors and camping and those type of
yeah,
things. It's
he
just-
did.
It's very odd, and I know we're getting, like I said, we're getting the story. I don't know what else information could be out there that's public record or whatever, but we're getting one, you know, that story from a documentary. And, you know, we don't know every detail.
That's right.
I'm not saying she didn't have her quirks and flaws either, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is this dude had it in him to kill this girl and then take himself out and then still try to bullshit people with notes. You know,
yeah.
it's just
Do
absolutely
you
insane.
remember the other young girl who was a friend who seemed like she was more Brian's friend, dark-haired girl?
Yes.
I felt like she really was shocked by this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Gabby's friend was like, "Oh, he's a piece of crap." Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
This girl, he must have. Either he fooled people or he was a good guy who snapped or something.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
Because
Yeah.
that young girl was torn up, like couldn't believe
And that's a
that
common,
was in him.
yeah, that's a common theme in these things we see is like everybody's, you know, we just said that too. You know your family and people better than the cops, but sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't.
And that she was shocked, and everybody else was shocked that he had that. But I guess everybody's got the capability. But what the question is, what causes you to cross that line? And once you do, they say it becomes easier. But he took himself out. At least he felt guilty enough to do that, I guess.
Let me ask you this. All right. You got a daughter who's
Insane.
no, you know, just a young adult daughter like a Gabby Petito.
Yes.
What do you think, if any, could have been improved if your daughter's missing and she's way out there and then you're here in North Carolina and say the person she's with is from another state too, to get all these people to communicate together and when you call 911 to report somebody.
Right. There's a fine line there because, like, again, when I was watching this, and you have the cops going to the house, and then you see there's a van there, and she's not there, but he is. You want to say, bust up in there and jerk a knot in his ass, but you also want to maintain the law and the Constitution, and he has rights too, and innocent to proven guilty, all that stuff. So there's there's an emotional thing there with a daughter or a family member that fuck all that at some point, but you know what I mean. So I don't know. There seems to be like maybe there's something where in those kind of cases where clearly it's not. I don't know what that would be and who makes these rules, but if it's not obvious that this is a person who wants to be missing, who wants to run away, whatever, is there something like a temporary thing where they have to?
I like that.
Subpoena.
If it's not obvious.
Yes. If something, I don't know. It's just a thought just came to me, but like, okay, she's missing. The car's here. He's home. Why? You're not even talking until it's like, oh no, she's still up at Colorado with a friend, whatever, then there should be some kind of temporary, I don't know, subpoena opportunity to pull these people in for a limited amount of time without being arrested or charged or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know. That's a slippery slope too.
Remember the dad, I'm pretty sure it was the dad, the biological dad. It was like, what do you mean they're not talking? I just want to know.
Yes.
When's the last time he saw her? Like, what's going on here?
Right. It just doesn't make any sense.
Dude, no. It didn't.
Well, it does only if he killed her.
Only if.
That's the only, exactly. And so, I mean, that's what I mean. In those type of situations where, like, it wasn't even he tried to do an alibi, but you went home and got a lawyer and didn't even, like, try.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you didn't even try to say, nah, we got an argument. I just drove home and left her with a friend up there, and she was staying at her house.
Yeah,
didn't even nothing.
I don't even know her name. Some chick we met on a trip. He didn't try anything.
Yeah, I think he was also just dumb. I don't know, but
man.
I mean, I don't know, man. But yeah, no, that's a slippery slope too to start going down that route. You can't just say, well, because who determines what's obvious? Who determines? The length of time you can question somebody without, you know what I mean? All that kind of legal stuff. And we have rights.
I'm sure their parents and him is what made them think the worst before they should have. Like, ultimately, we know it was the worst case scenario.
Course.
But they're just wanting to know, hey, is my daughter safe? And you're not talking? You're not.
Right. It's just like, that's weird. And again, that's his right.
Yeah.
You don't have to incriminate himself.
It is a trip,
but it's that I don't know, man. That's why you've seen other cases where parents and other people have taken shit in their own hands, vigilante style.
I know, yeah.
You saw that? Oh, what's that footage you see all the time where the dude's sitting at the phone booth and the guy had, I don't know if it was the R word, I can't remember, his kid. He just turned around and he walked by and he didn't give a shit. He was done with the whole system.
Yeah. Gary something, I believe.
Yeah, I've seen that a million times on a little short or a video or whatever. That's what drives people to it. It reminded me, we just watched a little clip of, my girlfriend had watched, because I thought we had watched, what was the craziest bank robbery ever? The dude with the pizza dude, bomb around his neck.
Oh, yes. Evil Genius.
I thought because I looked, I was like, did we do a podcast about it? I know we watched it. I know we talked about it, but we didn't do a podcast about it. But
that's a good one.
It is. It's crazy.
That poor pizza guy.
I know, dude. Like, was he? I still wonder though. Like, did he just think it was fake until he started hearing the beeping? I mean, he was begging like, "Hey, go get the keys," but then it's like, they said his demeanor changed. Like they said he was so calm in the bank and stuff. Anyway, we'll get into that. That's a crazy one.
That is crazy.
Because it was like this. They determined that he could have never got out of that.
No.
Right? It was like fucking Saul.
That's Saul. It really
was. Like Saul, which is it's probably, I don't know what year that was. It might have been inspired by Saul.
Made him rob a bank.
And he got $7,000 in cash instead of they thought it was going to be $250,000.
Damn it.
And then, of course, that was all blown to shit. But yeah, and that made me so mad because it's like he gets out, they handcuff him, he sits down, he's cross-legged, he's got this big thing. He's like saying, "Look, they made me do this. Go to the car. There's instructions. Can you go get the keys? I don't know how much time I have." And they just sat there waiting on the bomb squad to get through traffic until they started hearing the beeping. And once they heard beeping, boom, that was it. The dude died.
Horrible death.
No, yeah. So anyway, that'll be a whole different conversation. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just
this Gabby Petito one though. It was another one of those that captivated the nation. I remember it blowing up, being all over the news.
There's so many of these stories.
I like the American Murder series. If they keep this up, I really like it. And I'll be honest. Listen, Chris, during our hiatus, he was like, "Dude, have you watched this new OJ thing?"
Yeah,
and I thought I had. Because there was another new one just last year, but then there's another brand new one.
Yes, and
I watched it. It's so good.
It is, and because we talked about it a billion times, but I mean, I watched that in college, but it's been so long. I did not remember a lot of those details.
Same.
And then so me and my girlfriend watched, and I was like, I got to tell James because he might not remember this either. All the details.
It was a good documentary.
Really good. You get to see all their the attorney's thoughts now, and all these years later, and it's crazy because I mean, OJ basically admitted he did it to his friend in the documentary, and he did that thing years later called "If I Did It," like a dramatization. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was crazy.
But that and the JonBenet and. Because there was that new one on her again. I mean, like there's so many of these that are worth revisiting.
Yeah.
If you guys would ever be interested in it, I don't know. I just
I like cold case stuff, and I mean I think there's been a lot of those too. There was another one I watched recently with, I think I told you about it, where the lady was the cop. She ended up getting moved off the case, never finished this cold case. Her son ended up becoming a ranger.
Yeah.
And it was the Crimes in the Wild.
Okay.
It was that series. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was about like national parks where people go missing murders and
missing.
And they have their own internal police organization. They don't have to go to the local cops. They have their own people. He became that dude like his mom had been and solved that damn thing 40 years later or 30 years, whatever it was. That's cool. So that was a good little short series too. I don't remember the name of it, damn it, but it's like Murders in the Wild or something. It's about like people that specifically go missing and there's
national
parks.
It's missing 411 is what that phenomenon is called for some reason.
I
don't know why they call it that.
It's something in the Wild is the name of the series. It's on Netflix, I believe it's Netflix, but. Yeah, there's so many of these stories, man, and it all comes down to the same shit. It all boils down to, it don't matter the setting, like I said, or whatever, they're vloggers or traveling or whatever. It comes down to somebody's a damn jealous and controlling and has something wrong with them, and it's going to be, you're going to be with me or nobody type of. That's what it boils down to with these crazy psychopaths, sociopaths.
Did we do The Girl in the Box?
No.
We were this close if we didn't.
I know.
I thought we took notes on it and everything.
There's so many, dude, that I was saying, yeah, man, James did a podcast on that. And I go look and like, no, we didn't.
Dude.
There's so many like that.
I can almost feel us talking about that one.
We did, we did the Elizabeth Holmes thing with the company. We did the I Love You Now Die text message thing. We talked about several, a lot of true crime.
When you say Elizabeth Holmes, is she the one that did that company where the one drop of blood?
Yeah, there's supposed to be these little machines that we're going to test.
That was very interesting.
It was interesting.
And we did the CRISPR one. That was interesting.
We did CRISPR, yep. Or did we?
Or did we?
Yes,
Good
I don't
point.
know if we did. But yeah, no, a lot of those that I'm like, yeah, we talked about, did a podcast, and I go looking like, no, we didn't. We've had so many podcasts we never recorded is what it is. There's so many conversations. But anyway, it's just another sad story of somebody young who got killed over something stupid. I guess, I don't know, man. Just, it makes you wonder if people with the true crime phenomenon, is there as many people, girls, really trusting their boyfriends and stuff?
No.
Or vice versa. Because there's been some horrible women, too.
I'm telling you, they're not.
I know.
They choose the bear.
See, oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I know. But you know what they don't ever say, though, is that a vast majority of missing cases persons are not, they don't end in murder. They're literally people who, I just went and I just had to get away. Yeah. And that's why we yell at them through the TV screens, like, why couldn't you do something? Mm-hmm. And they say, well, they're 18. They can do what they want. Because you know what? 99% of the time they are doing what they want. We just don't hear about those either. Yeah. So, because people want to see chaos. They don't want to see good endings.
Dude.
We did that one, or we talked about it anyway, where a girl went missing and she just came home.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even remember. That was not too long ago we talked about that.
That blonde-haired chick.
Yeah, she just showed up. They just dropped her off.
Yeah.
She just walked home. It's like, what?
Dude. Imagine. There's this one story I heard about this guy who, at where he worked in this store, it was like a grocery store, back in the back on top of the freezers and refrigerators.
Oh, God.
They used to get up there and rest.
Yes.
He fell down in there.
10 years.
Yes. Now imagine if.
Upside down, head first, his feet's up like this. He is down stuck
and mummified.
A wall and a damn drink cooler.
Yeah. And they said they would have never heard him screaming because it was motors and everything running.
They never heard him.
And
Jesus,
I'm telling you, now what if you had, right before he left or something, started having an affair with his wife or something, or screwed him out of a deal or something.
God,
and now all of a sudden he's missing for 10 years. You're walking around this town, the prime suspect in his disappearance.
Yes.
Oh my God. You never know when somebody's missing and
then
when
you
they're
have,
murdered.
like we talked about before with other cases, you have that you're being investigated and all of a sudden they plant something because they just know.
They know.
They
we have talked about that.
Because that happens.
Like Stephen Avery, we talked about that.
I mean, cops don't plant things when they do.
I know it's
the
guy.
Malicious. They want to get a conviction because they know they can save somebody
else. In my
else.
heart, I know that's him.
Correct.
There's just not enough evidence.
And then, that's crazy, man. Can you imagine, what were they doing? Changing the machine out 10 years later and you see... I'm sorry.
Fucking mummy.
Fucking mummified dude.
That's pitiful.
Upside down and oh shit. And then somebody finds out, oh, by the way, we found out what happened to Bob.
Yeah. Hey, there's a house like that.
What a horrible. I can't figure out the physics of that.
Dude.
I get the, how can you, even upside down, not, I don't know.
There's an old cat lady who lived in a house who disappeared. All her papers started piling up outside and everything.
Yeah. They do wellness.
They looked for her, never found her.
Excuse me.
For a long time. Her family, they finally declared her dead. Family sold the house. The new owners remodeled the house. New people move in, and they're up in the attic, and happened to a board moves, and they look down, and she had fallen in a narrow space down in there, just like the guy behind the thing was in the wall the whole time and mummified. Shit. And I was...
Wait a minute, how did she get mummified in the attic?
She was in the wall. She would have been in the attic, but fell.
Through.
So she would have been in between the walls that.
Oh, my God.
And
even though that shouldn't be cool, it should be hot and warm enough to start stinking.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Oh no, she would have stunk for as long as the body would stink, but she was an old cat lady anyway.
That's true.
And then there was nobody else to live there.
Right. Gotcha.
So they just looked for her, and that house just sat there stinking basically.
Right. Yeah, that's true. God, that's crazy, man.
It is, man.
Damn. Yeah, what a way to go. Shit. That reminds me of I watch these, you see these, give me anxiety. You see these little videos of these fucking cave divers, cave explorers, and they're in these, dude.
Me and Landon have been going down this rabbit hole.
I can't watch them, dude. I start getting sweaty palms.
Yes.
I can watch a little bit. I'm not that bad, but once they start getting to where they're on
What possesses people, dude?
No, you crazy as fuck. What is wrong with you?
Holy shit! Some of those. Have you seen them like where they'll reenact it with the little animations?
Yes.
And
yeah.
When I flip through TikTok and I see one of those animations, I automatically start, like you're saying, get anxiety.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I don't understand how people get pleasure out of that.
Or when I watch rock climbers.
Because we crawled under houses
climbers.
and stuff.
Yes.
So we know what tight spaces are like. And
but not like that.
Nothing like that. That's right.
I mean, I've been in some tight spaces and worried. And there's been people pulled out of, attics and basements and crawl spaces. But, that's crazy. But what was I just about to say? I can't remember. I just said it. A brain fart.
You said it out loud. Give me a second.
Yeah, I know, and I can't remember. Anyway, it's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What should we do next? Jiu-Jitsu drama?
Oh, I think that would be a good one.
I think so,
because there's a lot of stuff I want to get off my chest.
Yes.
Around it.
Yeah.
And see what the audience thinks.
Because this is it's just another. It's very similar to other ones. A sad story about a psychopath and his girlfriend, and how the abused girls and men too. By the way, just as much, but want to stay with their partners. It's absolutely insane. But there's something there that makes them, trauma. The hope of getting better and fixing somebody.
That's exactly right.
Very odd. And I think that, I don't know if her friend had said that, like, I think she thought she could fix him. You can't fix nobody. It's just crazy. But it's the same undertones in every one of these stories with that kind of shit,
There he is. And who's to say? I mean, there's a lot of people watching this right now who think that their parents' relationship was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And you never know. I mean, your mom or your dad could have put up with something you never knew about.
Yep.
It's pretty wild what people will internalize.
And that's the other thing, we were talking about the kind of the political side of things, where it's like most of the stories are about women. It mostly happens in those type of things for sure, but in my own family, my grandpa got these shit kicked out of him for as long as I knew him.
Man.
And longer. I mean, me and Eric, the whole story me and Eric's talked about for years, but it happens just as much. It's not reported because you just don't tell nobody. Men is not supposed to, I guess. But, I mean, I think it's more likely these days. But he got the shit kicked out of him. He got knives thrown at him and stools and canes, and you just didn't get divorced back then.
Right.
And my grandpa I remember all of like 4 words, 2 or 3 words, 4 words from him every time I went over there, like, hey, how are you? Or not even that, like, hey, maybe. But Eric was closer because he was over there the whole time. He can tell you more. But I mean, I know I was there. I seen it happen. It wasn't just like I heard about it.
Yeah.
I heard about all the horror stories from my dad and my aunt, Eric's mom, and all that stuff, and my Uncle Paul. But she kicked the shit out of him, and he never lifted a finger to her. He was scared to death. He had his own refrigerator.
Man.
He could not come in the kitchen when anybody was in there. He had to keep his mayonnaise and mustard and ketchup before he got the second fridge in a drawer in his room.
Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable. And that shit happens more than people think.
And they never divorced. They stayed together till they passed.
Yep. Well, yeah. He died, and then she had moved down with Eric, at the beach and all that when we lived down there.
Yeah.
And I moved back and all that stuff. She had came down there in her final days.
Do you remember when we lived on Shoe Road and had the poker over there? Did you ever see the old man Wayne that lived in front of us? He lived directly on Shoe Road, and he'd always walk his big black dog Hatch out there.
I remember the house, like a little bit to the right.
Yep.
Yeah, I know the house, but I don't.
Old white-haired man, you'd see him out there messing around.
Yeah.
His name was Wayne, and I would go out there and talk to him, right?
Yeah.
He was a super friendly guy, but the whole time I'd be talking to him, he'd be looking over his shoulder back at his house, and he'd go hide behind the building to talk to me and stuff.
Right.
And I'd be like, what's going on? And he was afraid of her. She constantly thought he was running around.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
And so if she saw him talking to me, I was helping him, hooking him up with somebody.
Right.
Now he's like 80 years old. He would say to me, I haven't, got it up in 20 years or more. You know what I mean?
Right.
I couldn't do anything with anybody if I wanted to.
Right.
But he was terrified.
Those accusations were thrown at my grandpa, my papa. Yeah. I mean, again, Eric knows more of the details on some of those, but that was the same thing thrown at him. Up there fucking with hookers, and I mean, just you hear that shit. I mean, it's absolutely insane. So, I
never know.
Just not to get a whole another tangent going about, but it's just not reported as often. I think it's more likely to be reported these days, but it's still like I don't know if it's a man thing where you feel like you're not a man if you don't report something like that. But it's definitely an epidemic that people are not aware of. And we'll get that. Maybe that's another topic for later, is like the whole thing. Like, for example, how many shelters for battered women are there in the country? Like 3,000 or something. It's something astronomical, which is great. That's perfect. That's fine. I'm saying that's bad. But there's like 1 or 2 for men.
That's wild.
In the whole country. I mean, that may have changed since I watched those old documentaries about it, but still, it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, how it is. You've seen the TikToks or the reels. It's like, how you doing? I'm all right. He's not all right. You've seen all those probably. Well, that's a whole nother topic. But I'm just saying it's underreported.
It is underreported.
And,
for multiple reasons. Like you said. This young generation is going to end it, though, because they believe in hidden women. Like,
that's
they say equal rights, equal fights,
yes,
equal rights, equal lefts.
I hate seeing those.
I do, too.
God, I can't watch that shit anymore. Dude.
Our generation would let a woman beat us plumb to death.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely insane, man. Well, this culture is just...
Yeah.
It's taking a shit. Anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up. Well, I don't know where we've been going.
We did pretty good,
I hope
man.
that recorded.
I hope so, too.
I'm losing my voice already. It's been like this since I got this job.
Yeah, I hope both our microphones are working.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I do see that's where I'd always check that for sure. We learned the hard way.
But it's been fun, dude. I mean, we at least knocked the cobwebs off. Right. And I'm definitely down to talk about some of these other ones.
Yeah, and we talked about, I guess we'll mention real quick, we talked about when the other week we didn't record, we were just kind of planning things. We'll definitely, of course, do like live streams at the House of the Dragon comes back, and Dunkin' Eggs coming this year. I think that's going to be, I'm assuming, like June or July. I don't know. It could be August.
It'll be here before you know it.
It'd be quick. So you got that coming, then House of Dragon Season 3 will be coming. So we'll always do that kind of stuff, but we want to do like, first of all, more podcasts, but maybe some live show stuff. And I told James as well, regardless of what we do, we got the whole, I meant to say that, we got the whole like horror set up here. We got Pinhead, we got the ring, Sauron's finger, and Freddy's.
Started bringing stuff out.
Yeah, just throw it on the table. Sorry. But like, I don't know. I want to do like, my own little thing, that smoke break thing, bring it back as well. I don't know, just something. I don't know what that's going to be yet. I've told a few people on Twitch, but yeah, we'd love to do like a live call-in show, and maybe have some guests, maybe do some debates with people.
I've thought about this since you mentioned it. I think it's such a great idea.
And we don't know what it's going to be yet.
Yeah.
We talked about just letting people call in and determine what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Could be anything. It's not like we're stuck on TV and movies. We're kind of...
I love it.
Look, SmokeScreen is pop culture, includes a lot of stuff. History, mystery, like we talk about. Yeah. And pop culture. So, yeah, we're not limited anymore by TV and movies. And shit, but, and we started a Rumble channel. We hadn't put anything on it, but the one we exclusive over there. If you want to get into more political side of things, maybe there's something over there for you. But, we got to get back to, just our regular podcast. And then, whether that's the same one or we just occasionally make it live, we call in. I'd love to do that. I think it'd be so fun. We can set it up and do it right, where we have.
I know we can.
Oh yeah,
and I love the idea of it.
Yeah, have
them be a part of it.
Yeah, live show and whatever topic it is, or again, whether we have a topic or maybe we'll have a topic in some of them. Like, hey, we got to talk about this, and we'll get your opinions live.
Yeah.
Or let them determine what the topics are. Hey, we'll be giving advice. It could be like just little things here, and it could be about a multitude of things in one show. That would be fun.
Yes.
And, yeah, we can do it through StreamYard, very easy, where anybody can get on their phone and basically FaceTime us, and we could show that on the screen.
I can't wait.
We'll figure it out. So let us know in the comments if you already made it this far. Maybe I'll put this in the beginning. Rearrange it. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Bringing back, like doing some kind of live show. I don't know whether it's weekly or I don't know, monthly or whatever it's going to be. Whatever we can figure out with schedules. I
want to do it.
I think it'd be fun as shit.
We love doing live anyway.
Yes.
That will add something new, and it'll be fun for all of us.
Yeah, because we always have the chat. We always talking to people in the chat, but to have people call in that want to call in and speak their opinion, obviously we have to be ready to dump somebody when we have some troll.
Right.
So we don't get banned. Because there's always going to be an asshole that jumps in and starts yelling some bullshit or something, but we'll be ready for that.
And Mazuma will call in and prank us.
Oh, I'm sure. That'll be the first thing. Be the first one that calls. He'll call in and about a frush or something. What the fuck is a frush? Like something. But that's fine. That's fine. It'd be fun, man. It would damn sure be entertaining.
It damn sure will be.
Regardless of the topic. Because our whole thing is always, what's the topic? Did you watch anything? The topic? We don't have to have a topic. We could just be whatever. Let's just let it go. But again, occasionally we obviously want to talk about certain things. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about that. Well, and what's we'll talk about it more, like what's a good time and day for every, because you can't go like in the middle of the night for those. I guess if you're having cold, I guess you can. Yes, you
be
can.
A good Saturday night thing.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, Saturday night thing or Friday night, like that one guy's Friday Night Unplugged. He calls it stuff like those. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Friday night would probably be the best.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because Saturday nights people's already drunk. Friday they're just like getting off work and they still have the night to chill out and just chill out and watch TV.
Yep.
Stay up later. Yeah, we could maybe do that.
That would be cool.
But anyway, we good? Anything else?
I think so.
All righty, well, shit, we did another one. We made it back, and we'll continue to pump them out, and then we'll.
So good to be back.
Oh, fucking shit. Cooties.
I got the cooties. My fingers were crossed.
Yeah. Anyway, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I love your soft touch and your manly soft hands.
You know I use lotion.
I do too now, by the way. I do too. Because, I do. My arms are getting old. Like
that's the main thing I've been doing.
Every night, man. I do it now.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, maybe we'll do something next time. We'll fire up the overtime again, all that stuff as well.
Let's do it.
We got to get a schedule worked out. It's just hard, man, with these damn bullshit first shift jobs.
That's what scares me about you moving away.
Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know where it's going to be. Or
if it happens, we could do it over online.
We could.
Like I could literally Skype in, however we or
you could just come stay
a
weekend or whatever.
Yeah,
or whatever. Because there'll be a big studio there too. I don't know. Yeah, that's to be determined. We don't really know what's going on yet. But it's just something we're looking into.
The rate my job's going, I won't have the gas to get there.
Oh, God. Well, we get you some gas. Well, I'll pay you gas money. We get you some gas.
Oh, shit. Life sucks, man.
Yeah, I tell you
Getting
what.
old.
It's always something, man.
All the worries and woes.
I was sitting there yesterday. I pulled up in the driveway, and my damn light started dimming and shit. And I walked at my battery going, I'm like, oh, my alternator's going to go out now.
Dude,
and it recovered fine.
Something.
It's good for now, but, like, it's going out. So I know I need to go get that fixed before it completely goes out. Jesus, it's always something that pops up.
I got to get the IRS off my back.
Oh, God, yes, you do. Yeah, you got to get them feds off of you, man.
Man.
Well, you didn't file for 36 years.
Come on, Doge. Help me. Help a brother out.
That's right. Well, taxation is theft. You know how I feel about that.
I agree.
Anyway, more political stuff to come too. Oh shit. Anyway,
Missed you guys.
yeah, love you, mean it. All right, we good?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we'll get out of here. We got to work tomorrow, so we'll get out of here and let it fade to black.